Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
The previous verse described how living beings become entangled in this material world. To become entangled in this material world means to become entangled in ignorance, illusion, and sinful life. This verse describes how becoming free from that illusion, by becoming free from sinful activities, one can again get situated in a proper position. Which leads to the conclusion gradually described in the next two verses, that one gets free from the entanglement of birth and death by thinking of Krishna at the time of death. The last verse of this chapter, which is two verses after this, describes how one can think of Krishna at the time of death, which sets the stage for the next chapter, which describes the requirement to think of Krishna at the time of death. This is a very important point.
Это очень важно.
In this verse, that only one who is pure in heart can properly take to devotional service. Krishna refers to those who take to his devotional service with determination. Dridhavrata means with a vow of firmness that I will not give this up under any circumstances. This is different to the time-serving devotees. This is a phrase coined by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, time-serving. Some people serve God for a particular purpose, and then when that purpose is fulfilled, then they stop worshipping it. In India you will see there are many festivals for worshipping different demigods. As such, there is Ganesh Puja, Saraswati Puja, Shitala Puja, and so on. Saraswati Puja, Shitala, there are so many, Vishvakarma. So for these, on special occasions, a deity is made from straw and mud and painted very beautifully. So that deity is installed and worshipped for a certain amount of time. And the deity is prayed to, offerings are made, and benedictions are requested from the deity. And then when the puja is over, they will take that deity in procession with much singing and banging of gongs and throw the deity in the river or the sea. That we worship you for a suitable purpose. Now, okay, you must have given the benediction, so go away again. Pure devotional service to Krishna is not like this. Devotional service to Krishna is of the nature that even Krishna, if you reject me, I will never give up your service. And if a devotee has such an attitude, Krishna is purchased by that devotee. Pure devotional service is quite unlike materialistic religion in which one approaches God or the demigods for some material benediction. Pure devotional service is a matter of love between the Supreme Lord and his devotee. Heart to heart. The devotee loves the Lord and the Lord loves the devotees. Lord Krishna says that the sadhunam hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, varanyatena jananti nahang tebhyo managapi. That devotees are in my heart and I am also in their hearts. They know nothing but me and I know nothing but them. He says, aham bhakta paradhino. I am subservient, I am subordinate, I am dependent upon my devotees. How is that possible? The whole world is sustained by God. We are very tiny in relationship with God. Krishna, even though he is infinitely greater than us, becomes purchased by the love of the devotee. For this purpose that Krishna is speaking Bhagavad-gita. He wants Arjuna to fight. And he offers many arguments to Arjuna why he should fight. If you don't fight, people will call you a coward. How about that? You wouldn't like that, would you? If you fight and you win, you'll enjoy the earthly planet. If you lose, you'll go to the heavenly planet. So either way, it'll be good for you. This Bhagavad-gita may not be on the floor, but it's still not very good. Like this, at the feet. It's better to hold it up. Better to hold it up above the feet. Bhagavad-gita is better to keep on our head. Krishna explains knowledge, we are not these bodies. Nobody actually dies. So these are all different reasons that Krishna gives for fighting Fight from the platform of transcendental knowledge. Do your duty as a Kshatriya. But over and above all these things, Krishna wants Arjuna to continue in his relationship of pure loving service to Krishna. And through Arjuna, he wants to invite everybody to enter into that loving relationship. Now, to come to that stage, we have to be free from sinful contamination. Krishna refers here to those who are free from sinful reactions and who are free from dualities and from illusion. Now, what is that sin that we are to be freed from? In the Dharma Shastras, or the law books regulating society, beginning with Manu Samhita, different kinds of sins are described. There are many varieties of sins. To set someone's house on fire, to steal his wife, to insult a brahmana, to kill an animal, any animal. There are so many different kinds of sins. But the sum total of all sins, or the underlying attitude which causes sin, has been described in the previous verse. Basically, the overall definition of sin is to act in a way that is not pleasing to Krishna, or to be envious of Krishna. And that is mentioned in the previous verse. When we develop desires separate from the desire to serve Krishna, or when we become envious of Krishna, then we enter this material world. Such desires and such an attitude that is in itself sinful. And that is the root cause of a great tree of sinful activities. So many different kinds of sin. When we desire anything but the service of Krishna, then we have many, many desires coming. Many desires begin. Hoya mayar das kare nana abhilash. Narottam Das Thakur describes that. Hoya mayar das. When we become the servant of Maya, then we have many, 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 many desires. But when we only think to serve Krishna, then our consciousness is fixed. Those whose consciousness is fixed on service to Krishna, they're firmly fixed in their determination. But the consciousness of one who is not fixed in such determination is scattered, many-branched. So, getting free from sinful desires and sinful activities, that means to give up the rebellious attitude of not wanting to serve Krishna. The result of being envious of Krishna is described in the previous verse as dvandva moha, dualities of illusion. And in this verse, this dvandva moha is again referred to. Te dvandva moha nirmukta. Such people, they are free from such dualities. How do they become free from such dualities? How do they become free from sinful attitude and sinful activities? Jananang punya karmanam, by pious activities. Now, how is that possible? We understand from the analysis of Rupa Goswami and the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that pious activities in the Karma Kanda system, they can never be the cause of devotional service. Pious activities from the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, they are completely on the material platform. People perform pious activities for elevation to the heavenly planets, good birth, proprietorship of a kingdom, and so on. They are pious activities. They are better than impious activities such as unnecessarily killing people, lying, stealing, cheating, and so on. But they are still material activities. And Krishna consciousness is purely transcendental because it means the desire to serve Krishna. So here, our acharyas explain, pious activities refers to pious activities connected with devotional service. Bhakti is itself the cause of bhakti. A little advancement in devotional service leads to more advancement in devotional service. Many people may perform devotional activities even unknowingly. Nevertheless, that helps them. For instance, we may distribute prasadam to people who don't know that it's prasad. Still they get the benefit of taking Krishna prasad. Or someone may see our devotees dancing and singing in the streets and say, oh, that's very nice. They have no idea what is Krishna consciousness. But they think, well, here are some people, they're happy, that's nice. So by appreciating the devotees, they get advancement in devotional service. And that purifies them. In this way, they become free from sinful activities. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport that all the devotees of the Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion. Devotees move in this world just to give people the chance to make some advancement in devotional service. For those who have an inclination to hear about Krishna, they explain the process of devotional service. Such people are very fortunate. Those who are willing to hear about Krishna can very quickly make advancement on the path of devotional life. Because by hearing from authorized devotees, and even more importantly, by applying those instructions in one's life, one can very quickly become free from the duality of delusion. And when a person is free from the duality of delusion, which means thinking, I am this body and everything that I see is meant for my enjoyment. When he understands very clearly that I am not this body, I am an eternal servant of Krishna, then he doesn't want to waste a second of his life. He firmly engages in devotional service. But even to those who they're not ready to hear the message of Krishna, the devotees of the Lord are very kind and try to engage them somehow or other in making some progress in Krishna consciousness. So all devotees are very fortunate. They have received the gift of Krishna consciousness, by which they are able to progress towards the final goal. And every devotee should always remember, as Prabhupada points out herein, that devotees, they also have a duty to try to help to raise others to that platform. In this age, people can very easily be delivered from material life simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna. So devotees don't only think of their own benefit. They don't only think, oh, how will I become advanced? I be happy in Krishna consciousness. They are more concerned to sacrifice their lives so that others may be benefited. So see what we can do within this Sankirtan movement. Everyone should think, how can I live in such a way that others may be benefited? Of course, we don't think that I'm such a great personality, I can benefit others. But we may think how to use ourselves as a tool in the hands of our spiritual masters so that we may help them to execute their mission. And their mission is to serve, our spiritual master's mission is to serve the mission of their spiritual master. And all simply want to serve the mission of Krishna, who has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, Jare dekho tare kaha Krishna upadesh amar aggai guru hoya taro edesh. Just go everywhere. Whoever you meet, inform them about Krishna. In this way become a guru and deliver the land. Hare Krishna. Is there any question, please? What's that you're making? It's making dress for Gornitai.
Big bag. He's making
big bag, I see, very nice.
You said that Krishna can reject his devotee. In what cases it can happen, take place, and what may be the reason for this?
Krishna doesn't reject his devotee. But the attitude of a devotee is that even if Krishna were to reject me, I will never reject him. Superficially, sometimes Krishna rejects his devotees. He leaves Vrindavan and leaves all the devotees lamenting. But that is actually only to increase their love for him more. Anyway, we shouldn't think too much about Krishna rejecting us. First we have to think how Krishna is going to accept us because we have rejected him. Let's get back home, back to Godhead, and then so many wonderful leelas may unfold. There are many beautiful pastimes of Krishna. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially came to relish the feeling of separation from Krishna. So this is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's very thick nectar. If you get milk and boil it down and boil it down and boil it down, it becomes very thick. So that we can relish as and when we reach the liberated stage. Please. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama.
So said about different devotees. Jesus Christ and Vidura who was suffering a lot. But in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada writes that nobody can be engaged in Krishna consciousness without getting some pleasure. What to do is...
Yeah, so devotee suffering is not suffering. That apparent suffering is the cause of their more bliss in Krishna consciousness. Even in our movement, we often see devotees, they go out in the very cold weather to distribute Prabhupada's books, and they become completely ecstatic by doing that. To be out in the cold is certainly suffering, but the transcendental pleasure they get from serving Krishna in such difficult conditions that far transcends any apparent suffering condition. Those who surrender to Krishna and serve Him in all circumstances taste the sweetness of surrender. This cannot be understood by material logic because it's beyond material logic.
Sometimes Christians, they're saying that Bible forbids to worship idols, but you are doing this. How to explain to them that we are not worshipping idols?
You can explain, but if they're open-minded, they'll listen. But mostly we find they're not very open-minded. They're dogmatic. Do you know the explanation that's given in Scripture? The difference between idol and deity? You can give that, but if people are fanatical, then you can explain all day and night. They're not going to listen. Idol means imaginary form. Deity means actual representative of the Lord. Just like the government puts different post boxes, that's government authorized. If you put the letter in there, it'll reach the destination. Someone just put some imaginary box, anyone puts some box not authorized by the government, then you can put your letter in, but it won't go. God is a person that is accepted in the Bible. He has a form, so He can manifest Himself in different forms if He wishes to accept offerings from His devotees.
Previously ISKCON devotees, and even now devotees, men devotees had bad feelings towards women devotees. Is it
many devotees? You mean women devotees and men devotees both had bad feelings? Well, you're talking about male devotees.
Male devotees. Yes. And is it the actual statement of Shastras or not?
Well, can you supply any such Shastric statement as such?
You mean that while giving lectures, male devotees were offending female devotees and...
In Gita, Krishna describes a devotee who is dear to him as Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Maitra Karuna Evacha. That a devotee has no bad feelings towards anyone, and he's friendly and compassionate to all. Devotees should be friendly and compassionate to all. At the same time, he has to deal with living beings in different bodies according to their status. He may love the tiger as a fellow jiva who is ultimately a servant of Krishna, but he doesn't go to embrace the tiger. That would be foolishness. Similarly, we are advised Matrivat Paradareshu that a man who is married should see every woman except his wife as his mother. Generally, in Vedic culture, girls are married at a young age. There was not such a thing as brahmacharis and brahmacharinis living together in ashrams. So brahmacharis are enjoined to respect their mothers, not to disrespect them or disregard them. At the same time, they should be cautious in dealing with them. Not